Hey, 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 hey. What's happening? What's happening out there, folks? Peace and blessing. Welcome to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. You know where I'm doing this thing at. Black Magic Ink Studios in the Greenhaven Pocket area, the southwest area of Sacramento. Let's get down into this. All right, well, Luka Dončić had 28 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. And LeBron James added 24 points, 5 assists, and 1 rebound to help the Los Angeles Lakers suffocate the Sacramento Kings 128 to 104 on Sunday night. So that ends the Kings' 5-game road trip. They win 2. Now they return back to Golden One Center on Tuesday, March 3rd, to take on the Phoenix Suns. So that is the tale right there. One thing that we can say about this road trip is they broke that 16-game losing streak. That is now a franchise record. They got rid of that, so that's one of the good things too. Yes, they did win a fabulous, competitive, quality game against the Dallas Mavericks the other night. Definitely appreciate that win too. So let's see what happens right now. At this point, they are 14-48 on the season. They're 5-28 on the road. Now, rookie Nique Clifford, he led the way for the Kings. He had 26.7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal, and a block. His teammate, rookie Maxime Renault, had 16 points, 13 rebounds, and 1 assist. And I do believe what Mark Jones was saying on the broadcast, along with Katie Christensen, that Maxime is still leading rookies this year in double doubles. That's great. That's great because what I'm seeing here, as I'm recapping out this last road trip, and I think they got about a few games here. I know the next 3 games at home. The rookies are coming along. They are developing. Okay. And in the same regard, as they're developing, they're looking at those ways that they can win these type of games. Okay, because they got the best veterans to learn from. I mean, of course, the record does not say so, and it will not say so, but they're around, the best of the best. All right, I know they up in, they age as far as their careers, not as far as them as humans, but they're teaching them, as well as Doug Christie, the head coach. So they're looking good. Because one thing I can say about Nique that I've been watching on this road trip, he's getting better and better and better. Yeah, there's going to be some fallbacks. Yeah, there's going to be this and that. Of course, he started tonight. He is a rookie, but it seemed like he's making that move, to finish off strong. That's what he's looking at. And I think that's one thing that Doug and his coaching staff have to bless him with, provided that he don't make a whole bunch of mistakes, to continue, to get this experience, to learn the game, the association, when things are done out there on the court, because he's picking it up. Yeah, he had 26 points tonight. All right, started off pretty hot. I think he probably had about 8 or 10 points in that first quarter, which is really good. And really, the game was getting away from him in that first quarter, anyway. And then it was, they committed 20 turnovers in this game. But the rookies are coming through, and pretty soon they should, another week or so, have the services of Dylan Cardwell, so we can get to see him, get back into the groove, and hopefully, they can win a couple games on their floor at G1C, and with the rookies out there. Because I mean, as far as that streak had to be stopped, and if that was needed by the veterans that day, that game, that moment, that so be it. That's the way it needs to be done. So I really give Doug a lot of credit for doing that. Okay, because when they bounce back and those rookies, the younger players was on the road against Dallas, he didn't disturb that. Neither did DeMar DeRozan. That's how the things be done. Okay, I mean, I never heard so much controversy, at least coming from the Kings organization, about a controversy of how to win when you're on a 16-game losing streak. I don't understand that. But I understand, You know, they're in this position where they can still get that 1, 2, 3 draft selection, you know, this summer. But hey, a 16-game losing streak, come on. Get it the best way you can. Best way you can. That's still kind of, you know, ringing my ear about what? Oh, they should have left the younger players in there. Oh, all right. No. Doug and his coaching staff, specifically Doug Christie, the head coach, did the right thing as far as trying to get them to win that game. All right? Because during this development, those rookies who wasn't out there on the floor, or the younger players who wasn't out on the floor, sitting on the bench, and I think Maxime Renaud then was out there looking at it, okay, say, oh, okay, all right, the next time, you know, when I get in there, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to try to do that, you know, I'm going to try to help my team, you know, will my team to a win, all right? Because I'm sure they saw it was necessary to stop that streak, and they did. They did. And I'm talking about them rookies, you know, that was Westbrook and DeMar, you know, doing most of the damage. But in the same regards, when they rolling like that, these rookies know, these veterans know, I'm not going to disturb the vibe here. And I'm talking about that Dallas Maverick game in that fourth quarter, you know, with pressures going off. You know, Nique was doing his thing. Devin Carter was doing his thing all over the place. And then you have Daquan Plowden, you know, adding to the mix and things. So that's one thing that you have to understand, you know, when, you know, going through this process. Of course, you do want to develop them, but you got to develop them to be winners. That's the whole game here. You know, you're working on these skills. You're trying to gain experience. I understand that. But the name of the game is to win. Is to win. All right? They said, most of those guys sat on that bench in that fourth quarter against, you know, against Memphis. All right? And understood they had to have those veterans do what they need to do to stop that streak. Okay? Otherwise, they would have came back on 0-5 on this road trip. Well, maybe not against Dallas. I don't know, but they could have fell apart in that game against Memphis. So, well, there's water under the bridge right now. The Kings are on their way back to Sacramento. They down in L.A., so they get to sleep in their beds tonight, it looks like. Don't think we're going to get to see them tomorrow, so we won't see them again until Tuesday. Because usually when they come back from the road trip, they at least get that 1 day break before they get back to work, which they do need, because there's still 20 games left. And yes, there's 20 games left in the season, and they have to gear up for that. I think the last game is April 10th. We are at the 1st of March. This is the first day of March. All right. So they got to get through that game. Then they got a few more road games. I think they end the season on the road, if I'm not mistaken, too. So, and one of those games might be the Golden State Warriors. But, hey, that is where we are right now. So it wasn't too much to talk about as far as a recap on this game, because there is going to be a recap. But the Lakers made 47 of 94 shots, 50% from the field. And they were 18 of 39 from distance at 46%, and they made 16 of 22 at the foul line. But it was those triples that really gave the Sacramento Kings issues. And as we know, they're not really the Kings, that is, are not really a good, or at all, maybe I shouldn't say at all, defenders of threes when it comes to the opposing team. So that was there. I mean, Luka Dončić, he made 4 of 6, you know, in three-point territory. LeBron James, he connected on 3 of 5. And Marcus Smart, he made 3 of 5 triples as well. They improved to 36 and 24 on the season, 17 and 12 at home. And they are still firmly in 6th place in the Western Conference. They did beat the Golden State Warriors really bad last night. I think they beat them almost 30 points. So they completed their back-to-back with 2 wins. 2 wins they probably sorely needed anyway, because I think they lost like 3 games before that. You know, they caught Golden State sleeping and stuff. So that's the tale of the tale on the Lakers. And that was a really and before I sign out of here too, I mean, it was talking about Nique Clifford. At least this game, there was some, you know, a lot more competitive as far as quality players that was on the floor. Now, I'm not taking a shot at anybody, with, these second and third tier players who's getting their opportunities, these reserves getting their opportunity on the floor. I do like it when Nique is out on the floor with somebody like a LeBron James or Luka Dončić, Austin Reeves as well. Ayton, DeAndre Ayton, even though, it seemed like he having his issues down there in Lakerland, but La La Land. But it's good to just see that, those rookies in that mix. Now, of course, in the last 6 minutes of the game, Doug, brought in, the other reserves, to finish it out because the game was long over. But they still had a chance, for those 3.5 quarters to, make a run, at the best in the world. At the best in the world. So I do want to thank y'all for turning in for another episode. We're not going to be going along with this one tonight. Once again, the Kings finished their 5-game road trip with a 2-3 record. I think that's as commendable, especially breaking that 16-game losing streak. Now let's see if they can get a couple at home to make the fans happy, because that's what they're looking for, because they were not happy the way that game ended before they went on the road. They got booed. And they should have got booed. But let's see if they can bring that energy back when they play the Suns. It is historically known that when the Kings return back from a long road trip, they don't do so well. So they got to get out of that groove. But one of the good things about it, they land in the Lakers here on the West Coast, so they can start getting acclimated, to the Pacific Standard Time. Folks, hey, look, thank you for stopping in for another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. I'm your host, Tony Ray Harvey. I will be back, in the next set of road trips. But I do want to wish everybody peace and blessing. Good night and good luck.